Kill your darlings. Kill your darlings. Even when it breaks your egocentric little scribbler's heart, kill your darlings. What am I talking about, and what did Stephen King mean when he said this? Well, he's talking, of course, about the editing process. The process where you take your manuscript and you cut out the parts that are no longer working, even if they're beloved parts to you. Now, if you've been through the editing process before, you know how painful it can be. It can feel like cutting off your own arm or your hand. But if you want your manuscript to survive, you've got to kill some darlings. You've undoubtedly spent a big chunk of your life crying and sweating and stewing over your manuscript, and now this big ungainly train wreck that you've created needs fixed. But how? Well, that's why you're here tonight. Hopefully you can learn some ways of chopping off the unnecessary appendages from your manuscript with the least amount of bleeding possible. First of all, give yourselves a hand. You've written a book. Wow, do you know how exceptional that is? Stop and think about it. How many people do you know who've done this? 10? Probably not. 5? Unlikely. You are among an elite group of individuals who have what it takes to create a work of art out of words. So good job. Now, go put it away somewhere. Put it up on a shelf. Archive it. Unless you have a deadline looming over your head from a publisher, and hopefully you don't, put that thing away. Get some distance from it. Make it a stranger. This is a very important step. You want to see your novel with fresh, objective eyes, but you can't gain a new perspective if you've been too close and intimate with it for months on end. So break up with it. Don't see it for a while. Go flirt with some other novel ideas. But while you are avoiding your manuscript like an ex-lover, this is a good time to have a few other people read over it and make notes of what they like, what they didn't like, any glaring mistakes they came across. Now, their comments might hurt, but read what they have to say and thank them. Value their fresh perspective, but remember, ultimately, in the end, you are the writer of the story and the captain of the ship, not them. You have the expertise and the final say. So now it's been a few months, and you're thinking about getting back together with your manuscript. It might be a good time to do so, but go slow. I want you and your novel to go off somewhere quiet where you won't be disturbed. Spend a little time together today, maybe some more time tomorrow. Take your time. The editing process takes time, so take your time and do it right. Devote little chunks of time here and there, rather than try to get it done in one fell swoop. It will help you keep an open mind and to not get burned out if you do it this way. Now that you're in a quiet place, it's time to reread your novel and then write an outline of it. If the story you have doesn't fit the story you want, then write another outline and fix your story until it fits. Now you might be asking yourself, why do we have to do this step? Because it's time to solve problems, and having that outline will help you considerably. It's sort of like a roadmap to your novel. This mapping process will force you to face problems that you didn't want to deal with earlier. So you're looking for major problems in the plot. For instance, did you introduce a character early in the novel, but you forgot to carry his story throughout? Can you use him later? If not, cut him out. How about conflict? Have you sufficiently resolved conflicts between characters? Conflicts within the plot? You can't leave these little problems in your manuscript and expect the editor not to find them. She will. Be warned, you're about to kill some darlings. Some parts that you love will simply no longer have a place in your novel. But don't worry, because you're about to find the treasure that is your real novel underneath all of this detritus. Okay, now buckle in for the ride. We're at the point of no return. This is it. The tragic ending, when we kill our darlings. But really, kill is such a strong word, don't you think? Is there any way we can have a happy ending to this tale? Well, of course there can be. After all, we're creators. We're not killers. We're writers. So, therefore, I have a strong suggestion for you. It's a good idea to keep a folder on your computer where you can keep your deceased darlings in case you need to resurrect them later. So if you have a paragraph that you love, or an idea, or a character, don't just banish them to the underworld with a click of the delete key. That's mean, and it's permanent, and you can never get them back. So some things might be worth holding on to. Save those things for later. Show them some mercy. Give them a reprieve from death row. You can, you know. You're the writer. You never know, they may come back and save someone's life someday. So there you have it. A few ideas that may turn your so-so manuscript into one you can be very proud of. And we never even killed anyone. As the author and former Supreme Court Justice Louis Brandeis once said, "There is no great writing, only great rewriting." The act of editing can be painful, tedious, time-consuming, it's true, but it's a road you must travel. It's the only way to get that manuscript published. So pull it out of the archives, dust it off, buff it until it shines, and ship it off to the publishers. Best of luck to all of you, and thank you for attending my seminar.